April 16th. Insurance has been open for 5 days here in Iowa. Anyways, I figured I'd give you guys an update again. Just starting out. I'm on my third pass or second round. I'm running 15 inches off from last year. So what I'm doing is splitting the rows. Let's see if I can zoom in here. So that's what I'm doing. Going right between the rows. The reason that I'm doing it that way is right down the center. The reason I'm doing it that way is I'm doing no-till or strip-till corn on corn, and I like the strip of the anhydrous that this makes. This is a different bar than what we used last year. This does not have whippers on it. All it has is the crumblers out back. You can't really see the row per se, but over there you can. It does a really nice job. Putting down 185 units. I'm putting 15 to 20 units of plow down with my dry. My dry is already applied. I'm not going to stop and get out and show you. We're expecting rain on Saturday. So I've got 315 acres. I'm running around 4.5 miles an hour. This 5288 is running around 225 horse, and we're pulling it to the bottom. You can see the discs out here. I got them buried. They're shiny to the hub. The reason that we do that is we think it retains the value of the nitrogen a lot longer. This is pretty heavy ground. So anyways, I'll give you a little bit of information about this 5288. It is a rotary pump intercooled engine. Yes, this 5288 is intercooled. We got an intercooler from a gentleman up by Shell Rock, and I acquired a set of lines. We ran it this way without the intercooler for about 2 years. 3 years? 3 years. I think it was 3 years. I'll give you guys kind of a breakdown on how we turn. I'm already in the low side, so I'm going to throttle down once I get up here. Hit the throttle down, and then come up here, shut that bar off. I got to set you down. I got to turn. Shut the bar off, and then we turn. Now, with that turn, we're going to come back in and set down. Sorry about that, but there's just too much stuff going on and couldn't get there. So we come back in and the GPS has started up. So the previous yellow is 2020 anhydrous, and all I did was shift it over 15 inches. And that gives me this result. So I'm able to shift up now. I'm in medium 4 for everybody that has a Magnum. So we got a same transmission. It's an 18 speed. So there's low, high, medium, and reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Very similar to like a quad range or a I think it was an 8760 that had that 24 speed. So in theory, I'm running medium, which medium would be, I got to shift. Medium, it'd be 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. So I'm running 9th and 10th gear on this tractor and a Magnum. It's the same basic transmission. It's got the basics of, the gearing ratio and everything. These are actually geared a little bit slower because these engines rev out at 2600 where a Magnum doesn't. So they geared them a little different on the ring and pinion. If you ever hear about anybody upgrading the ring and pinion on a Magnum or upgrading it on a 50 series to a Magnum, they actually increase the drive speed. It'll go 23 instead of 20. Top speed on this tractor is 20 mile an hour. 20.8. That's the best I've ever seen. It's got 20.8 38s. They're BF Goodrich. They're good tires. Seem to not have any problems. We run them tires right on the edge. I mean, right on the edge. You can barely see because the cab's a little dirty, but it's right on the edge. The rear ones are on 30s. We're not going to change that. The only reason I would change it is if we started bailing with this, and that's a strong potential of. Anyways, I finally got this thing to stick to the ground. What I ended up doing was putting more wheel weights on, and then we put on, I think it's 16 or 18 front 50 series factory front wheel system slab weights up front. So we're sticking to the ground now. It took a lot of weight to do it, but we finally got it to do it. Anyways, I'll go back to the intercooler. So we put a rotary pump on and all that. I've had multiple people ask me if I would sell this kit to go on to a 52 or a 50, and I won't. I'll sell a rotary for like a standard 50 or a standard 52, but I will not sell this rotary set. It took me about 5 years to find this set. I've been in contact with a gentleman in Kansas, and we already worked out a deal, and as long as my buddy can go down and pick it up for me, I'm gonna go get, or he's gonna go get a GTI 466 out of a 5488 with an inline pump and an intercooler. I'll spare you the details of the engine. It's just a standard engine. There's nothing special, but it's out of a 54. It's got the M&W inline Bosch pump with an intercooler. That's what we're going to put on here. The reason being is, I'm going to see if I can get you guys to set here. There we go. The reason being that we're going to do it that way is, I want more horse. I want to put around 250-ish to the ground. Whether I get it there or not, I have no idea. But I'm going to shoot for that kind of horsepower. If we start having rear end problems, what we're going to do is we're going to go find a 54 in a salvage yard and take the planetaries off. Anyways, we'll take the planetaries off and put it on here. Last year we broke that axle. You can still kind of see it. It flares up. Turns out what happened is the inside tire lost pressure, the outside tire had pressure, and it was just too much, too long, too much, and it just snapped. It's not that big a deal to me. It took us 6 hours. We changed it out. We contemplated changing the planetary on the right side at that time, but we're not going to do it half and half. We're going to do all in one shot. Anyways, we're going to be running 250 horse. My EGT does not work. I talked to Mike Links in Illinois, and he said they have a lot of problems with them things. So more than likely, I think Luke C on here, he's got a 54 and he's got a EGT, and then over here he's got a boost gauge. I don't care about boost. That's a 10-year-old kid's dream, I guess is what I want to call it. The turbo is going to put out what a turbo puts out. We are going to be upgrading this to a Swicer. It's already in the shop. It's on a manifold. All we got to do is take the bolts off the manifold here and get the head cleaned up for the exhaust side. I'm not running the markers, but I could. Yeah. So I'll give you a breakdown of the barn. We got a little time. So these gauges right here, that tells me my tower pressure. There. Yeah, right there. That's my towers. There's a line that goes to them, so that way you know what kind of pressures you're running at each side. The reason that you want to know that, it's actually for that guy, the rate. Like I said, I'm running 185 units of actual, so that's what I'm putting down. The reason that I do that is I want to raise 200 to 225 bushel corn. There's still a little bit in the ground from last year's plow down. I guarantee you that this crop does not remove 100% of the nitrogen on this field. It's not possible. I mean, you cannot completely deplete every bit of nitrogen. There's always residual. Whether it's a lot or not, that's to be, you know, discussed. But like I said, this thing works really well. I'm probably going to stick with strip tilling for my career. I really like the results. It holds moisture. The reason that I like it is holding moisture is a big thing to me, because we have highly rolling hills. I mean, it doesn't look it, but that's a hill. That's a heck of a hill. I shifted down because I come up to the approach of the hill. I mean, it's not flat ground, and the picture really doesn't do it justice. But it's pretty light sandy in areas. On the bottom we're flat and black. But yeah, back to the strip till. The strip till is it's a very nice thing to have in your toolbox or playbook or whatever you want to call it. Just for the simple facts of being able to retain the moisture. I'm going to set you guys down again here to see if you guys there. All right. So I shift down. I'm going to come up here. And I always do it in increments, small increments, because it'll change the flow rate. And I want to keep it at 185 units as long as I can, the best that I can. So I'm going to swing back in here, find my GPS. My GPS is going to find itself, hit the throttle, hit the switch, and we're back to putting smoke on. This is probably the nicest system that we've had yet. This is an easy pilot. We bought it from a gentleman over by Masonville. He does a lot of planter application parts. His name's Alan Atwater, and he does a really good job with this stuff. This is actually his old unit. This is our head because this is a RTK driven unit. This is his steering system. We bought it from him this past year. The reason being is our Easy Steer was a good system. The problem with the Easy Steer is it's not as accurate. This thing knows where it's at. I mean, it knows that this steering wheel to them tires and the ratio between the tires, how it angles and how many rotations it turns on the tire. So think of it this way. Your car knows when it turns right and you turn the right turn signal on and it comes back. It knows when it's turning left, and it knows how far electronically. That's the way these new vehicles work. So when you turn right, it knows, okay, we went so many degrees each way. It's a degree angle of approach, or turning degrees, I guess is what it should be. Right now we're running 5 miles an hour because we're still going downhill. But anyways, back to the strip till and all that stuff. I like it. The only problem that I've actually seen is the residue breakdown. Not 100% sure how we're gonna handle that in 5 or 10 years. It might be a deal that in 5 years we come in with the disc and we disc it all down around the outsides, and then we burn it off. I haven't decided yet. We haven't come to that approach yet. I'm still turning the dirt in. There's still dirt and material being broke down in the field. So I'm still turning dirt. It's just not taking that BT stalk and uprooting it and laying on its side, making it easy accessible for the bacteria. Now, the bacteria, strip tilling bacteria. You want bacteria, but anhydrous will kill it. The problem with doing liquid is it's a timely manner thing. And I have no problem doing the timely manner thing, but when you work in town, it's very hard to do all that. I need to wash my gullet. So the problem, like I said, the problem with doing it as far as material on top, that's something that I need to assess. And it might be a deal that in 5 years I come in with a BT and BT it up and be done with it. But if I do that, that kind of goes against the conservative till that I'm doing. Am I being paid for this? I've had a couple of people ask me, are you being paid for this? Yes, I am. So the NRCS, which is Natural Resource Conservation Service, I think it is. I don't remember. They are paying me. Now, is it enough to justify this? Somewhat. I will say somewhat. I think it's a good thing to have in your toolbox. I really like anhydrous because it's a one-shot thing. The reason I don't like anhydrous is because, well, lack of better terms, we have problems with killing bacteria. You're going to kill, quote-unquote, kill earthworms. That's a lie. We put anhydrous on my dad's farm, or my grandpa's farm. I mean, we farmed that farm since 1854. That's when we came and settled the area. We've been putting anhydrous since it basically came out. We tried liquid a few years. It was working really, really well, and then we had a problem. We were losing sulfur, we were losing boron, all the micronutrients. Since then, we have been spreading for that. We've been spreading sulfur for 5 years now. Yes, I shift a lot. Yes, I know it's not good on the transmission is what it could be, but I'm trying to get acres done, and that's the simple point of it. Anyways, we like anhydrous. It's not real safe. You got to be careful around it. But other than that, I mean, we're still humping it out. We're putting out 225 to 260 bushel corn. I have repeatability of that. I'm not going to go away from it. Now, I've thought about doing split shot, doing anhydrous and then coming back in with like Y drops. It's expensive. I'm okay with that, but I got to be able to justify it. It's got to be yellow, withering away, nasty, terrible, holy shit, what's going on problems. I haven't hit that yet. So that's where I'm at with that. I have been seeking else options, like as far as dry urea. I thought that would be a really good option. The problem is with dry urea is it's very volatile. You can get days where it don't rain and it just dissipates. You can get encapsulated, sulfur encapsulated. That is a nice thing. Not gonna lie, I would really like to try it. But trying is one of them deals. You need to do it on a bumper crop year. The problem is not every year is a bumper crop. I would like to. I'd like to actually side dress dry urea. Now, when I say that, you still use a buggy. We would come in with the GPS. You come in and come down the rows. So the rows, and then you split them. Come down the rows. Well, you get it into the swirl. Well, I don't want to do it that short of a stage. I want to do it in the stage that it is the best, as far as being able to absorb it, stuff like that. I want to come in with a buggy, like a Hagee or a probably more like a John Deere, and spread dry urea on top like that. When the crop is, we'll say, 6 foot tall, 5 foot tall, in that range. That's what I'd like to try. There's enough coverage and there's enough moisture in the mornings that it should put it down into the ground. So that's what I'd like to try. I think it would be a fun thing to do. I think it would work really well, but I'm not to that point. So I don't know if you've noticed, we're still on the high side and we're running 6 miles an hour. Now the reason behind that is, this is a hill. Yes, it's steep, but it's getting light. The sand is coming in. There, I'll let you look at me. So I come up here, I shifted, I throttle back, shut the smoke off, turn. What I'm looking for is the fence. That's what I'm looking at. I want to make sure that I'm not hitting the fence. The biggest thing is, I really want to make sure that people understand how strip till works. Everybody thinks we go out and just beat the shit out of the soil. You can barely tell the difference between that and this. I mean, barely. And that's my thing. I don't want my soil, or anybody's soil, whether I rent it or not, I don't want it going down in, and you can kind of see it, there's a buffer strip down in here. I don't want to see my dirt go down there. And some ground is flat enough, it don't really matter. We're in northeast Iowa, we're actually just south of Independence, Iowa. Raleigh is right over there. And for the people that know anything, that tower is the second largest tower in Iowa. It's Channel 9 Tower. Rock 108, if you guys are in the area, Rock 108, that's the tower. And it's at the very top is where that radio signal kicks out. In my area, in my shop, it's about 6 miles away from here. I can have a brand new radio, put it in the cab, turn it on, no antenna, and I can get Rock 108. That's how strong the signal is in my area. It is deadly strong. It's amazing. I have got all the way up to, I think it was north of Mason City, and I still had Rock 108. 120 plus miles away. That's a 240 foot or 240 mile radius. That's crazy. I mean, and that channel was not this year. I mean, that Rock 108's been Rock 108 for 20 years. So that's how strong that was back in the day. I'll give you guys a listen to the tractor. Hopefully you guys can hear this. That's running 2100 and 2300, 2400. So anyways, I figured I could get you guys some videos before we really get into planning. We've basically got everything ready to go. I'd like to get some beans in the ground ASAP. I'm guessing probably by the end of this weekend we're gonna have the bean planter going across the dirt. So anyways, over now guys, have a great day.